All right, the recording is happening.
How do I change my background? It looks reversed to me.
It's supposed to.
Okay, all right.
You're good.
We're seeing it the correct way.
Hello, my name is Elaine Zetas, and I'm from the class of 1971. I majored in art history.
I'm Eileen Schneider, class of 1970, communications major.
My name is Emily Kramer Olson. I graduated from Simmons in 1972, and my major is very interesting. I created my own major, which I believe was the first time that could be done at Simmons or frankly any college I ever heard of. And I am always so grateful to all the professors who put up with my major changes and that gave me a serious bachelor's in broadcast journalism.
I went to Simmons because the first time I visited as a senior in high school, I just felt this was the place for me. I identified with the students, and I also had a vague notion that I wanted to be a librarian, and so Simmons was a natural. Also, the prospect of living in Boston was very exciting for me, even though I only lived 20 miles away. Boston was a whole other, it was the big city.
Overall, I would have to say the most wonderful thing I ever loved about Simmons was the wonderful accessibility and support of so many professors to me. You can't imagine that anybody would have such a thing again.
Being an undergraduate in college in Boston in the late 1960s was probably the best era ever for college students. There was so much excitement in the air, so much hope, as well as learning about civic responsibilities and the power of the people. It was just a wonderful experience. And Simmons enhanced that. That at the beginning of the resurgence of a women's movement, Simmons had been established the past century in the late 1800s to train, to educate, to prepare for careers, women. And that impressed me.
My fondest memory of Simmons, and I have several, of course, are my friends, my gang of 7 that are to this day still my friends. But I have a silly memory. When I was turned 21, it was tradition for the students to walk down Brookline Avenue to the liquor store and present their license in order to make a legal purchase of alcohol. And the proprietor always sang happy birthday to the person that had turned 21.
My fondest memories of Simmons, to be quite honest, I don't know if I have one that I could pick out. It was the entire ambiance of the time, the gestalt. It was just a great time. The friendships that I still have from those years.
I did a wonderful internship at the State House with State Senator Rotenberg, or was he a representative? I don't know. It's a long time ago. Anyway, he and I did a video story about juvenile delinquency in Massachusetts and how the state was not maximizing those resources for the young people.
My greatest accomplishment, I have to say, I credit Simmons, my Simmons education, for enabling me to have a very long and fulfilling career at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston.
To be able to be a pioneer and become one of the first women rabbis in the United States, to then go on and switch careers completely in later life and become a mystery novelist. It just, those are 2 things I'm proud of.
I went on to be a very happy nurse. I worked in both coasts, and I worked in dialysis and transplant, which normally you had to be a intensive care nurse back then, and now they took a chance on me, a new grad, and I became a research nurse, which also didn't exist at the time. And I ended up being invited to speak in Europe and Hawaii and Czechoslovakia, and just tremendous speaking opportunities.
Hello, my name is
Caitlin, can you, I'm sorry, Barbara Campbell Harvey, can you please welcome us and open our meeting officially?
Why, thank you very much, Karen. Welcome to the annual meeting of the Simmons Alumni Executive Board. My name is Barbara Harvey, class of 1975. These next years will prove to be exciting years with the 125th celebrations. I have served as your treasurer for 10 years, and I will be stepping down after this meeting. I will be turning over the reins to Faye Bean and Caitlin Maloney, both of whom answered the call after last year's annual meeting. If you are interested in the board or its activities, please contact us and I will put the email in the chat. Executive board at SimmonsAlumAssoc.org. Now I give the meeting over to Caitlin for the roll call.
Thank you, Barbara, and thank you so much for your service on the board. So I'm just going to take a quick roll call. Directors, if you could let me know that you're here. So first we have Karen.
Here.
Priyal is absent. Barbara.
Here.
Adony.
Present.
Faye.
Present.
Courtney.
Present.
Pam.
Present.
Maddie is excused. Kristen.
I am present.
Anna.
Here.
Elaine.
Present.
Kelly.
Present.
Morgan.
Present.
And Sophia was our intern this year, and she has since graduated. So she will not be joining us today, but we'll hear from her later.
So we have recorded a quorum, and I would like to add another welcome to what Barbara has already extended. And I'm Karen Young-Thomas, class of 77, and serving as the president of the Alumni Association, which has been an amazing experience thus far. I want to acknowledge and thank President Wooten, the Board of Trustees, our faculty who really do the critical work. I want to say congratulations to our newest alumni members, the class of 2024. And I want to welcome you, my fellow Simmons alums, because you really are the heartbeat of what Simmons is all about, and our ombudsman moving forward, past and present. I want to really thank my board our board, who has really worked hard this year and always to really try to support the initiatives of the university and the interests of our alums. And I encourage anyone who may be interested in joining us. We work hard, but we also play hard. So we have a great time working together in the sandbox here. And I want to thank Barbara in particular for her more than 10 years of service to the board, and to let you know, Barbara, that you may not have a title moving forward, but you will always have a place on the board. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your service. As we're moving into this 125th anniversary, the campaign committee has come up with a tagline, and it is built for now. When I first heard the tagline, I have to admit, it didn't grab me right away. But the more I thought about Simmons turning 125 years and realizing that in the genre of historically women's universities and colleges, that there used to be 300 and now there are less 30, it's clear to me that what Simmons has had to do and has done to rebrand itself, to reimagine itself, was creating a way for it to be built for now. And so I now have a greater appreciation as I think about those colleges that had the same mission as Simmons, but didn't make the cut, were not able to be built for now. And so as we think about the association, we have to also line up with that line of thinking and be built for now. And so we've made some changes in terms of some of the goals that we've been trying to meet. And so as we move forward, we really know that we need to develop consistent programs and activities. And coming forward in the next year, obviously we will have the 125th celebration, as well as you'll hear more about some of these programs as we sort of move through this meeting. But when most of us were at Simmons, the definition of a woman at a women's college was very one-dimensional. And we have to embrace and expand how we understand and support that definition now. And so the DEI committee is planning some work around gender, us to better embrace and be founded on equality and built for now for real as we work as alums. We also we also are going to be presenting some professional development, no matter what level you may be at, and be able to participate in that in hybrid events. And then because Simmons is a global brand and we have alumni living all over the world, and our tradition is built in something that is a global tradition, and that is tea. So we're going to be celebrating tea around the world with our alums who are living outside of the United States. And I think that'll be very exciting for all of us to participate in as we move towards that all reunion 125th anniversary. We also have to rethink how we are looking at our paradigm about how we fund activities of engagement, like Reunion, and how we support Simmons through scholarships and other kinds of ways. And so as you will be receiving material moving forward, we're looking at how to package that and how to change that how to change that paradigm so that we are both coming back and giving back and making sure that Simmons is solid, both from our engagement and from our philanthropy over the next 125 years. And we also want to make sure that we begin to communicate more regularly. It's something that we hear as feedback from alums, and we want to make sure that we begin to address that in a way that we're sending out information before we open up the newspaper or as things are happening, or getting input on the front end. And so those are some of the things that you can look for as we try to make sure that we are, as an association, built for now. And so, Caitlin, if you can go to the next slide, please. Actually, the next slide after that, please. So if, I'm sorry, and the next one after that, I think a little bit out of order. So the agenda for the meeting, we are going to be celebrating our Jubilee class. You're going to hear updates from our directors. We're going to hear from President Wooten. We're going to adopt our new slate of officers moving into next year. And we're going to hear from a member of the class of 2024. But encourage everyone to make comments, put questions into the chat, because in a 1-hour meeting, we're more than 100 people RSVP'd and there are already 50 people online. It's difficult to have the kind of discussion and response that we know you all deserve. And so there will be a June newsletter that will address all of the concerns and questions that we're not able to get to in this meeting. And we certainly look forward to next year when we can all be together at Reunion and have, a different kind of annual meeting. So thank you for joining us this morning. And I want to invite our Director of Alumni Outreach to please give her report. And Caitlin, you may have to go backwards in the slide deck to get to her slide.
Thank you very much. My name is Kelly O'Connell. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the class of 1999, and I've proudly been serving for the last several years as the at-large director responsible for outreach and engagement. I'm very proud of the time that we've had to spend together. And as Karen mentioned, we've really focused on connecting our community. The goal of reaching our alumni network, wherever you may be, and bringing value has been highly important to us. And with that, I just want to highlight a few things that our organization, as well as volunteers on the Alumni Task Force, have accomplished in this last year. Again, with a focus on engaging Simmons alumni with activities that bring value, we had a town hall which included in-person and remote moderated facilitated sessions. We've had regional roadshow thanks to President Wooten, and the Arrive and Thrive sessions. We were able to combine really incredible movement from Simmons with regional activity in New York, New Jersey, California, Florida, and many other locations. We've had career sessions, mentorship moments, our first virtual entrepreneurship conference. We've had alumni note card and student note card writing. We even brought a world premiere of Show Her the Money movie and the film crew to Simmons, making it the first screening in the Boston and in Massachusetts of that award-winning film. Alumni outreach is important, and we also don't want to just push toward you what we believe will bring value. So in the winter of 2023, we conducted a survey to help shape the future of engagement in programs. And we had the findings coming out of that, that what you want as a community is to promote connection, to promote professional success, both in traditional corporate environments, in social impact, and in volunteering and in entrepreneurship. An increase in specific communication from us, and we're committed to achieving those things. We have a task force I want to recognize that's been meeting as we lead up to 2025 to ensure that we stay on track and accountable for these things, and the names are listed below. And I want to thank everyone for giving me the time and opportunity to serve you in this capacity. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Good morning. Karen,
I'm
this
up
is
next.
Chrissy. Why don't you kick us off?
Great. Thank you for having us here today. I'm Chrissy Raposa. I'm the Senior Director of Alumni and Volunteer Engagement for those who I haven't had a chance to meet. We are here today to give you a quick and very brief update from the Advancement Office. Joining me today is our VP of Advancement, Beth Kramer, too, and I'll hand it over to her in just a second to give us an update on giving, and then we'll go back to the 4 pillars of engagement, particularly the communications, volunteers, and events. Our tagline for this update is engaging as we climb. We used a similar tagline when we recently presented to the Advancement Committee for the Board of Trustees. We're proud to say that we are expanding our advancement team back up, and you can see that the university is reinvesting in our area. We have 9 new advancement staff since last summer, 2 of which are on the engagement and events team. And excitingly to share that engagement and events is also going to be expanding to individual giving, and we're soon going to be offering a position for another associate director who will focus on affinity engagement and individual giving. So I'll share more about that in our year to come. Talking about the fiscal year 24 update, I'll pass it over to Beth to share an update on our fundraising.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to be with you this morning. And I just want to thank Karen Thomas and the entire AAB Executive Committee for the extraordinary work that you all have been doing to ensure that Simmons University is built for now. We have so much pride in the history of Simmons women over the decades, and the 125th anniversary is going to give us an opportunity that we hope to shout from the rooftops about the impact of Simmons women has had in their professions and their careers and their communities. And that is what this is at the heart of this 125th anniversary. We've been a little too quiet, and our goal is to get loud and noisy. And I know in partnership with the AAB and this executive committee is that we do want to ramp up our voices as we move into this 125th anniversary year. As Karen Thomas indicated, that engagement, re-engagement, supporting Simmons graduates as every part of their life's journey is an important part of what we're trying to build. And in doing so, we also hope that philanthropy will become a part of what we're building for the future. And as we've been working towards the 125th anniversary campaign, and we would say we're in the quiet phase now, really working with President Wooten, our academic leaders, and thinking about Simmons' historical strengths and the positions of our academic programs for the future. That is a critical part of our 125th anniversary campaign planning. But I'm proud to say that over these recent years, as we've been quiet, that together we have raised $42 million for the university. And this represents fundraising coming into the university, both through alumni giving, through corporations, through foundations, through friends, since July 1st of 2020. And so this is very important for us to feel this sense of pride that we truly are making a difference for the university with philanthropy. And I want us to just speak that we know we're an institution that is worthy of this investment, and we just need to grow it to ensure that our students have access to what we believe makes Simmons a very transformative education, and that our faculty have funds to do their research work and to represent themselves in the communities with their clinical practices, with our student research programs, and as we build external partnerships that help underpin our academic footprint. At the end of the day, we're a university that we know in higher education participation, the fact that alumni vote with philanthropy is an important metric. And this is something that, again, we want to build for the future. So you'll be hearing a lot about participation. So our goal this year is to get to 8.2%, which is where we left before COVID hit. And we're just 477 more gifts to bring. To me directly. If you want to be a part of making some phone calls or doing some outreach to your classmates to say, help us reach this goal for this year. So I'm so grateful for, again, it's women in action, volunteers in action that are supporting where we're helping the university get to a great path for the future. So thank you.
And with that, I'll take it back over to share the other 3 Ps of the pillars of engagement. The first one being communications. Thanks to our expanding team with the addition of Lauren Sterling, class of 83, as our Associate Director of Alumni and Volunteer Engagement, we've been able to together get out 210 emails sent out successfully. And that's whether or not they're coming from advancement, coming from the association, could be partnering with our cross-campus partners as well to help them get their communications out the door. And we have a 48% open rate, which is fantastic compared to the education industry average, which is about 35%. Our Simmons network has also expanded. We have 5,600 users. 719 of them are new. 67% are of the alumni constituency. You may recall that students, faculty, and staff are also on the Simmons network. And 59% are raising their hand saying that they're willing to help. So any help that the Alumni Association can have in following up with those and getting them activated is greatly appreciated. Speaking of volunteerism, we have 64 active Jubilee Reunion volunteers, and they represent 15 classes. That even went up since we reported this last week at the Advancement Committee. So you can see that the more that peers and your classmates are sharing the positive experience they're having with working with us as a volunteer, they're recruiting as we climb. Experiential events with the addition of Amy Craig, our new events manager. She has been supporting some of our traditional and some of our test case, so to speak, events. Jubilee Reunion is a new type of reunion that we're doing this year. It's going to be May 31st to June 2nd. That represents the classes of 1947 to 1974, which is the 50th reunion class. We have about 100 people already registered for the in-person experience, 30 registered for the virtual activities that we are offering. And to compare, that's about 150 goal that we're aiming for. We're also proud to announce that we are doing the Alumni Family and Friends Weekend again. That schedule will include reunion celebrations for the classes ending in 4s and 9s who've graduated after 1974. That weekend is going to be October 5th through 6th, and we'll send out hold the date and more information on that soon after Jubilee Reunion. So looking at fiscal year 25 and beyond, we're shifting to this new model of developing affinity and individual giving. We need to re-engage the alumni of the 2000s, 1990s, and 1980s in particular, capitalize on the wonderful athletics energy, particularly around the Living and Learning Center, which is going to include a new athletics facility, and all the progress and championships that our athletic teams are having. And we want to model the 4 A's. You can may recall last year they had the Black Alumni Symposium and put together a wonderful planning committee and follow up with fundraising efforts and et cetera. So we want to capitalize on their excellent leadership as well. We want to build professional networks that align with our new academic vision as we restructure to 6 schools and improve and enhance the partnership with the Simmons Institute for Inclusive Leadership. The future of Simmons reunions past the 125th reunion next year needs to continue to be revisited and re-strategized, and we look forward to the AAB's partnership on that and reimagining regional clubs and legacy audiences. And with that, I thank you all again.
Thank you, Beth and Chrissy. On mute, I gave you a wonderful introduction because you all are our partners and we appreciate all that you do and all that you take on our behalf. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we work together, we're partners, we win as a team. So thank you for all that you do. And now Courtney Bryant will share some student outreach updates.
So hello, Courtney Bryant. I'm a dual Simmons alum, undergraduate class of 94, and I received my MBA from the business school in 2001. As director of student outreach, we had a great year this year. I really enjoyed engagement with the Simmons community and the students. We had bookended candle lighting ceremonies at the beginning and the end of the year. And I think what a highlight for us was our 50 Days to Graduation event, which was a collaboration between the university, the senior class, and the Alumni Association. We had over 70 attendees up at one of the halls on the academic campus. And it was really an opportunity for students to network both with themselves and with alumni. We did headshots. There was an opportunity for students to sign up for the Simmons Network and donate to their senior class gift. And it was a lot of fun and really engaging opportunity and event for us. And we appreciate everybody from the university that attended that. And then most recently, I had the opportunity to join the senior class and their family and friends at the senior class toast and bookend the candle lighting ceremony and then commencement, which was an amazing event and really honored to represent the Alumni Association at commencement for the university.
Thank you so much, Courtney. And I just want to remind everyone to please put your comments and your questions and concerns into the chat so we can circle back to them. We wanted to share in their own voice some of the memories of the Jubilee class as we celebrate with them virtually. So, Caitlin.
Hi, I'm delighted to greet you. I'm Dr. Alumnae Slackman Anderson. I'm a member of the Simmons graduating class of 1973. I received a BA in sociology and psychology and education, and then that same year received a master's in teaching and urban education.
I'm Linda Warner. I graduated in the class of 1970 and I majored in sociology.
My name is Maggie Mar Carney, class of 1965. And I graduated from the School of Publications.
Hi, Ann Brown Fudge, class of 73. Wow. A management major.
I chose Simmons because I like the idea of an all-women's college. I also like the idea of a smaller college, smaller than BU or Northeastern, for example. I like the idea of going to college in the city. And a girl a year or two ahead of me in high school had gone to Simmons. She was smart. And so I thought it would be okay.
From the very beginning, I was so attracted to that little paragraph of Simmons in that thick book of all colleges and universities. And when I visited, I was impressed by its location, its proximity to other colleges. And also, I was very enraptured with the people that I met. I have to tell you, in all honesty, during that weekend that I visited, we took a walk down to Kenmore Square, and I went into Brigham's Ice Cream, and I fell in love with mocha almond chip. And so when I say that I chose Simmons because of mocha almond chip, it may sound frivolous, but it's true, because it really made me feel at home.
I chose to go to Simmons because it was in Boston. I know it's probably not the best thing to say, but true. But also because of the management major.
My parents decided that I should go to Simmons because they attended a college night at my local high school and were impressed by Jane Curtin Halco, one of the guest speakers. And I was assigned to escort Jane, and we became very good friends.
My fondest memory at Simmons was meeting Elaine Hagopian, who was then recently hired a sociologist. And sociology was totally new to me.
My fondest experiences, despite all the time with friends and meeting wonderful people, the interactions with two professors in particular, Margaret Hennig and Charles Coverdale, who really nudged me to apply to Harvard Business School. I would not have done it if they had not insisted.
The camaraderie of dorm life, I think, is my fondest memory of Simmons, including the meal times at Bartle Hall.
When I think about my most memorable or my fondest memories, there are many. And against the backdrop of the protests that are going on across campuses and universities now over the conflict in the Middle East, I'm reminded of my days at Simmons. And so one of my fondest memories is that of student involvement and student activism.
What I've done since Simmons that I'm proud of is I served for 9 years on my town's select board, and I also co-authored a hardcover book on the history of Duxbury Beach, which is a privately owned by Duxbury Beach Reservation.
I eventually did get a master's in education, but I didn't really want to teach in a classroom setting. So I began teaching ESL and traveled abroad and taught in Asia mainly.
I think my greatest accomplishments is the balance that I've been able to bring to my life, a balance between my commitment to social justice and community service and volunteerism, a balance with family and church and other civic organizations, and my balance with studying and being a patron of the arts, being involved with museums and art collecting, etc., and just living a life of meaning.
What I'm most proud of is that I've had a chance to have a career that allowed me to set up scholarships for other students and really serve as a philanthropist for those causes that are really important to me.
And so as we are celebrating with our Jubilee classes and know that they will have an amazing time when they come back, we wanted to just share some things in their own words. And so now I report from our Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Hi, I'm delighted to greet you. I'm Dr. Alumnae Slackman Anderson. I'm a member.
Sorry, I think my mic was off. Good morning, I'm Pamela Deschelle, class of 1975. I am Director of DEI. This year we did a few things. We were co-sponsored a welcome reception at the Family and Friends Committee, Family and Friends Weekend in October, along with OLA, a student organization. We also made a financial contribution to Simmons Hillel. We've reached out to the Office of Cultural Inclusion and Equity, now known as the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, ODEI, And we're working with them to partner on future projects and to connect with student organizations on campus. The group has also been involved with a collaboration with the Simmons 4As, which is the African American Alumni Association, where we made a presentation at the Simmons Black Alumni Tea Party in celebration of Black History Month. And our future projects include doing something in October on a date to be determined on gender studies in collaboration with Simmons faculty. And we'll also be working with other alumni associations, such as the graduate schools, for programming at the 125th celebration in 2025. And as others have said, I invite you to join our committee. And I also invite you to send in any ideas for programming or things you'd like to see through DEI.
Thank you, Pam. And now our treasurer's report.
Thank you. Again, I am Barbara Campbell Harvey, class of 75, same as Pam. And I'm waiting for my slide to come up. But as I said, this year, I'll be passing the reins over after serving for 10 years. And our treasurer's report, the most boring part of the meeting, is our Vanguard investments on our account, which makes 7.8% rate of return, has $130,000, $869.51. Our TD Bank account before the awards checks has a balance of $12,532.08. Our expenses include board activities, funding for the DEI expenses that you just heard about, student awards, 50 days to graduation. We pay for Google Suites and Wix for our website, and we have bookkeeping services. Some changes this fiscal year includes the closing of the SVB private account, and we moved to TD Bank. And we have lost our income stream from Liberty Mutual. This is my last report as treasurer since 2015, and I turn the reins over to Caitlin Maloney, and Faye Bean will be your new treasurer. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to serve.
And it's been a pleasure to work with you. So thank you again, Barbara. And now we're going to invite Ana Jimenez to give us some updates on the 125th anniversary planning.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Or yes, still good morning. It's super exciting to welcome all of you, or to invite all of you to come back on campus next year as we celebrate our 125th reunion. We have lots of goals, lots of excitement, lots of fun things that we're going to be doing that weekend. So I hope all of you are as excited as I am to be at this event. One of our key goals is to have 500 Simmons alums on campus. And that's alums from all of the alums that have come through Simmons one way or another, through our undergrad, through our grad schools, through our online programs, certification programs. We want to be able to have Simmons buzzing with the life of all of us who have been through Simmons, who have experienced what Simmons has been all about and what it's done for each of our lives. And so the date will be June 6th to June 8th of 2025. In addition to having at least 500 Simmons alums on campus, we're looking to raise $500,000 for scholarships. And so, as always, we'll be working with you on inviting all of you to help us reach these goals. We're working really hard at putting together the various packages for reunion weekend. They're going to start from a basic package of $200, and then it'll go up to $5,000. some of the highlights and things that we're going to do. We're in the midst of planning, and I've gotten a number of folks that are part of the planning committee. And so we're going to be doing a sneaker ball, which I cannot wait. We're going to have teas. We're going to have workshops and panels. We're going to have May Day in June. That's going to be super fun. So hopefully all of you are excited about doing that. And it'll be a chance to just, reminisce, think about everything that has happened throughout Simmons, 125 years. We want all of you to start thinking about what items, what little trinkets you may have at home from your Simmons days, and we want you to come with it on campus. We're going to be doing some special projects around that. We're going to be doing some media. We'll have some media folks to be able to capture stories from all of you throughout the weekend, and just be prepared for what's going to be a fabulous and fun weekend. We will be opening registration in September. There'll be an email that I'll be sending, that the school will be sending out in June, asking you for some, just, we'll try to gather some inputs from all of you who might be on campus, who might be interested in various things. So look out for an email that will be sent out in June. And as always, we need your help, right? We can't do this alone. It's really about reaching out, touching others, inviting your Simmons friends to join us and to, get them excited as well so that they can be on campus for this 125th anniversary. So thank you so much, and looking forward. And if anyone is interested, by all means, reach out to me and let me know. And then I know a few of you have already reached out and connected to me. So yeah, let's just stay connected and super excited. Karen, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Anna, for all of the hard work that you and your committee have already done. And so now I'd like to introduce one of our newest directors who has really jumped off, have gotten off the ground running. And so Morgan, would you like to give updates on awards?
Yes, thank you. So yes, hi everyone. I'm Morgan Ward, class of 2016. I started as the director of awards in January of this year. So since then, have gotten a lot done with my committee and the board, and just so excited to have been able to give some awards out this year. We had a really awesome a couple of awards and nominations that came in, and just so excited for that. So some highlights: we were able to give the Priscilla McKee Award for a faculty member at Simmons, and that was given to Professor Margaret Menzin. Here is a photo of Professor Margaret Menzin with Liv Devnew, class of 67, who was able to come to Boston and present the award. So I'm so grateful for her help and assistance in that as well. And on May 14th, we were able to give two Alumni Honor Award and Alumni Achievement Award to two current students. I think they're both class 24, so they're now, I guess, joining us in the alumni space. But we were able to provide them with their awards as well. And I just got to say, just reading all of our nominations, being able to work with the committees on selecting our winners, we just had a really stellar year, and look forward to bringing back awards, which is my next point. So next year for reunion weekend, we plan on having our full slate of awards available to be given out to folks. So please stay tuned for that. Do not miss the opportunity to nominate someone in your community. And if you know someone now, and they're on top of your mind, just go ahead, write down a quick draft of what that nomination would look like. So that way, when we send out that email, you're all ready to go. In addition, I just want to point out that one of the top things that I was given from the board and from folks was finding some way to honor the service of Peggy or Florence Peggy Saslow, class of 44, in remembrance of her commitment and service to the alumni community. And so with that being said, we're looking forward to renaming the Simmons Alumni Association Service Award to the Peggy SASLO award, service award. So please stay tuned for that. I look forward to drafting what that will look like and having a first winner coming in for that as well. Finally, if you want to get involved, please send me an email. Here's my email, awards@simmonsalumassociates.org. If you want to read more about the awards that we have, you can take a look at our website. I'll put the link in the chat for you to peruse what we currently offer. And I just look forward to seeing you all next year and having a great awards banquet. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Morgan, for just doing it. And now I would like to introduce another one of our newest directors, our Director of Marketing, Kristen Henneman, and she is going to introduce the person, the celebrity of Simmons that she is going to be in conversation with today.
Hi, everyone. I am Kristen Heineman. I graduated in 1993 with a degree in communications, and I am here to interview President Wooten. So I'm not sure. There she is.
Good morning,
Hello.
Kristen, and thank you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. We had a
Good.
fabulous graduation yesterday, over 1,000 students. So I did 1,000 fist bumps, had a good night's sleep, and I'm looking forward to this interview.
That's fantastic. I heard it was great. You recently attended a convening of the Mellon Foundation that focused on historically women's colleges and how we have gone from over 300 to less than 30. Could you share some insights and perspective from that gathering relative to Simmons' celebration of the 125th anniversary?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Provost Costner and I attended a convening at the Mellon Foundation, and I was also one of the keynotes. So I got out there to tell Simmons' story and was involved with the Mellon Foundation. I want each of us to sit for a second to think about this world, to go from 300 to 30 women's colleges. What does that mean? Because we know, as we said in our tagline for this 125th campaign, I believe the world needs women's colleges. There are many reasons why we're built for now. So a lot of the convening was really around the theme of our 125th. In this post-pandemic era, why are women's college needed? How are they reinventing themselves to address gender equity and gender equality? And as a coalition, how can we come together to build capacity? So we talked about everything from the importance of women's colleges, because we know they are safe spaces, they're elevating spaces for women to hear their voices, and how can we invest in leadership development? We talked about the importance of women's college bridging the liberal arts with professional education, such as what we do so well at Simmons, and in particular, why this is important, because it empowers women economically. We talked about alumni engagement, and we're going to talk some more about this in a few minutes, but how do we engage our alum in this rallying cry for the next era of women's colleges? We also talked about getting government involvement. Similar to historically Black colleges, we have been working on how do we get some type of destination or something that really the federal government acknowledges who we are and starts to invest in them. And I think the biggest one we talked about is what's the future of women's colleges and how we ensure there is a sustainable future for them, and building the capacity for the financial side, for the human capital side, and once again, also for the relevancy. And then relevancy in many ways, but affordability also. So it was a full day at the Mellon Foundation, and it was very relevant for the work that our Alumnae Association is doing.
That's great. And actually sort of dovetailing off of that, can you share any updates on what Simmons will look like as we transition academically and physically into next year?
Yeah, let's think about this metaphor built for now. And I know a lot of people have been wondering about the academic redesign. I want to start with the academic redesign. When this meeting opened and Beth talked about this, we talked about the focus of Simmons and its signature strengths. And if we remember, I think the three things that Simmons does well is extraordinary learning in the classroom. I call that the L1. L2 is educating people for its life works. L3 is what I call leadership development. And even as I heard, we got good ice cream, I call L4 our location in Boston, right? And coming for the ice cream. But our signature strengths and our academic redesign, we have really organized around 6 areas of signature strengths that we're going to elevate, that we're focusing on for innovation, distinction, and differentiation. The first area, our School of Nursing, we had so many nursing graduates yesterday there, and the various forms of nursing. We are not only undergraduate nursing, we have any type of nursing degree that you can think of, from advanced family practitioner nursing to psychiatric nursing to getting your doctorate in nursing. Complementing nursing, our second kind of core academic redesign is our School of Health Sciences and Natural Sciences. That includes nutrition and physical therapy and public health, but we're also preparing people for lab work, PhDs in the natural sciences, and careers and working in life science fields and biotech here in Boston in particular. Our third area, and they tend to be at graduation always the most overjoyed, is our School of Social Work. And our School of Social Work, we have a new dean starting coming from Rutgers. As you know, we were one of the first social work programs in the country. We are known for our pedagogy around clinical social work, and we have DSWs in social work, many different degrees in social work too, MSWs. A popular combination is for someone to do undergrad and also do an MSW. The next component of the academic redesign in our fourth school that we're organized around is our School of Library and Information Science. And wherever you go in the world, you can find an extraordinary Simmons librarian. Somebody was just telling me yesterday how they were at Occidental College, a trustee and an alum, Liz Fender, and the freshman library where her son goes to Occidental College is a Simmons alum. We have Simmons alums at the Smithsonian, the Library of Congress, Harvard. Our librarians are everywhere. Our archivists are everywhere, so elevating that one. The next area of academic excellence is our School of Management. We are doing a lot to reinvent that and thinking about our relevancy and in particular doing pre-experience masters and connecting the curriculum of the School of Management with the Institute. And then finally, our Eiffel School of Humanities and Social Sciences and Community. And we're getting a lot of attention for that because even though we are a professionally focused school, we have done a lot around innovations around the humanities. So that's kind of what's happening on the academic redesign. So that is on the curriculum side. On the building side, if you have not been back to campus, you have to come. We have state-of-the-art facilities. We have this amazing nursing simulation. We have some of the best science labs in the country, I believe. We've renovated the library. We've done a lot of enabling moves. And by the spring of 2027, we will have a whole new residential campus. So that's what's happening on the built for now side. And then I don't want to be remiss because we've talked about the classroom, we talked about the buildings, but we also know that Simmons is amazing because all the things that happen outside the classroom. And we're building lots of leadership development, career support, and co-curricular programming for outside the classroom to be a state-of-the-art university.
That all sounds wonderful. I haven't been back on campus since 2011, so I am due. I'm very excited to get back. This school year has brought a lot of challenges for college campuses nationally. We're right in the middle of all of that right now. And yesterday, Simmons graduated the class that began during the pandemic. What have been some of the major challenges and victories for students and the university this year?
Yeah. Yes, that's a good point about graduating the class during the pandemic. The class of 2024, in particular the undergrads, I call all of them my children because we started together. I started my presidency in 2020. I know the senior year that they had without a graduation, without senior year festivities. They had to deal with the geopolitical climate. They've had to deal with social unrest. And so what's the campus environment like, especially since October? Well, I can say, like all other campuses, we've had a lot of protests, but we've also had students who have been willing to sit at the table and talk to me. When the protests started and students became upset, my whole theme, Christian, has been, how do we come together as a Simmons community to lead, to listen, and to learn across differences? So I've spent many hours meeting with students from various backgrounds to ensure that we are listening to them. I've encouraged them and advocated for peaceful civil discourse. I've talked to them that Simmons women's elevate their voice in a dignified way. And they do it thinking about systems change. They do it thinking about respect and thinking about civility. And this is all we're trying to do. We've done programming for anti-Semitism. We've done programming for Islamophobia. We've done leadership development on systems change. We've had teach-ins and sit-ins. We've worked with faculty to help them redesign their classroom. And Kristen, we're seeing it around the corner. We all are sighing because they're gone now, but we know that they'll be back in August. And we're starting to think about what will November's election season bring. But to summarize, the big message has been kind of one of my taglines is when Simmons leads, the world is a better place. And I've been asking my students to say, from a social justice perspective, from a civil discourse perspective, from a democratic perspective, how can you channel that energy for positive systems change without hate speech and all the things that we've been seeing in the news?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful point. I think that's a challenge for everybody these days. And actually, when you speak about asking the students and the community, what question would you want to ask alums? We are going to invite alums on the call to answer in the chat, and then we will share the transcript with you and answer any questions that might not be able to be answered. So what question or questions would you like to ask?
My questions are anchored in engagement and getting feedback. We had the honor yesterday to give Dr. Meredith Wu an honorary degree. And Meredith Wu, many of you may not know, is the former president of Sweetbriar. Meredith also came and spoke to the board the day before graduation. And when she talked about building a financially sustainable model for Sweetbriar, her number one advice for me is that the alum helped. We had alum workers. The alum were engaged. They rolled up their sleeves in many ways to do that type of work. Kristen, you've heard me talk about what I need for alumni engagement. First, it is my dream, and Christy, don't have a heart attack, that I want our alumni engagement to be 25% for this anniversary. And I think that's doable. When I was at the Mellon Foundation, many schools said they have 25% engagement of their alum. And what does that look like? It's this philanthropic call for action. Treasures, I mean, who can you think about it? If even people starting small, if saying giving $125 or various denominations, how can you roll up your sleeves for the tie? If each of us today on this meeting go back and contact 25 people, alums that we know, to become engaged, to follow us on LinkedIn, to give a donation. Time. We have many things that we need for time and talent in this community. And what can you do for time? Even Regina, our board chair, was saying, just get alum to reach out to people. Meredith Wu talked about every year they have their alum come back to Sweetbriar and they clean up the campus, they pick up weeds, they paint dorm rooms. I just want people to call people and connect. So I want to hear ideals for alumni engagements. And finally, testimonies. Somebody was joking yesterday, wherever I go, I could be in Starbucks, I could be in a boutique, I could be on a plane. I start with, I'm Lynn Wooten, president of Simmons University. Do you know Simmons University? Where are you going to go today that you can tell the story of Simmons University? Because you never know that donor, that prospective student, that friend of Simmons that you could be telling the story to. So how can we engage an alum for the 5 T's is my question. And how can we get to that 25% gift that I want of engagement?
That's great. Thank you so much. And we really appreciate your time. And if you have any closing remarks, please feel free.
2 simple closing remarks. One is an act of gratitude, and I'll do that one second. My first one is I want everybody to start buying their sneakers. I have been looking online. I have been looking in stores. My husband's been seeing packages come to the house because I'm going to have multiple pairs of sneakers. And so let's start getting ready for the sneaker ball and coming back to campus, and let's see who can be best. I'm looking for some really gold sparkly ones today. The other one is an act of gratitude. First, Barbara, thank you for your 10 years of service. You were the amazing treasure. We are appreciative. We know you are only a phone call away as we pass the baton. I am also appreciative to everybody, all the directors that serve on the board. Pam, thank you for showing up for graduation yesterday. The many people I've seen on campus, Courtney, all of you, thank you for the work you do. Like President Wu said, we are going to have an alumni corps who are going to roll up their sleeves, and they're going to be part of this next era of Simmons stories. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both for that conversation. And now, as we move into the business part of our meeting, I want to thank everyone who has participated. I know this has been a lot of information and it's coming like a speeding train, fast, fast, fast. So everybody, thank you for keeping with our time. And now I would like to acknowledge Elaine McCarthy, who has done an amazing job of filling slots on our, not just filling them, but with people with matched background skills who are really, really dedicated to doing the work. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you, Karen. It's been a busy year for the nominations committee. Thanks to Chris Conroy, Chris Steller from the class of 76, who was part of my committee, and Chris Pope Campbell for their efforts in helping me recruit candidates, as well as some of you on the board, the Alumni and Advancement Office, and various alum who network for me. I have current positions open, Director of Communications/Media and Director of Operations. Barbara has posted the contact information and it's also on the website. I encourage anyone to come forward who's interested in helping me network. The slate of new officers for 2024 are the following: Faye Bean, class of 75, Treasurer. Caitlin Maloney, class of 2019, Assistant Treasurer. Kelly O'Connell, class of 1999, Director of Athletics. And Priyal Goyal, class of 2014, Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will be now voting on those resolutions, which include that slate of office. So I'm turning it over to Caitlin.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Elaine. So I will be reading the resolutions, and then I will just ask for someone to second, and then we'll take a vote. So the first two resolutions relate to operations. The first, 52401, AAEB approves the minutes from the 2023 annual meeting. Can I get a second?
I second.
Thank you, Barbara. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Me.
All right, thank you so much. Motion is passed. Then the next resolution, 52402, AAEB adopts the 3 strategic goals for 2024 through 2026 as presented. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Motion passed. Now we have 2 resolutions related to volunteers and nominations. The first, 52403, AAEB approves the inclusion of a steering committee of the board composed of the president, vice president, treasurer, and director of operations. All in favor? Opposed? And any abstentions? And then 52404, the AAEB accepts the 2024 slate of officers as presented. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
I'll second.
Thank you, Barbara. All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion passed. Now we have 1 resolution related to awards, 52405. The AAEB renames the Alumni Service Award to the Peggy Saslow Service Award at Simmons University. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Opposed?
Her maiden
Any-
name and her year of graduation should be in that award.
So we will take that recommendation
Yes.
back for consideration back to the
Okay.
committee and report out on
Thanks.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we have concluded that portion of our meeting, and now we're winding down to our final thank yous and words from one of our newest alumni members.
Thank you. Yes, we're excited to hear from Sophia, our intern this semester. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sophia Getz. I am a 2024 graduate from Simmons University with a degree in communications and studio art. I am so excited to be a brand new alum with all of you, especially because this past semester I have been working alongside the executive board of the Alumni Association as their student intern. So I've gotten to see the ins and outs of how everything works and how they work so hard to throw these events and to keep everybody connected. So I'm really believe that I'm in good hands going out into the real world, and that I know that I will be well supported. So happy 125th anniversary, happy annual meeting, and happy summer, everybody.
I know that the audio was a little bit low, but thank you. Obviously, she couldn't be here because she's celebrating with her family. And so I'm going to leave our closing and final remarks to Adney Slackman Anderson, who came onto our board this year. So Adney, can you close out our meeting for us, please? And thank you, everyone.
I certainly can,
Hello, I'm
Karen, and
Sophia
thank you
Getz.
so much. And again, in absentia, congratulations to Sophia. I want to thank each of you for joining us today, and we encourage you to continue to be involved with us, to reach out, email us, participate on a project, get on a committee, because we can't do it without you. I certainly want to acknowledge Barbara, and thank you, Barbara, for your 10 years of experience. I want to acknowledge President Wooten. Thank you for your transparency and for your love all this time. And I want to acknowledge Chrissy and Beth. Thank you so much for connecting with us as a board. And to our president, Karen, thank you so much for your years of service. You have been wonderful. And as you see by the applause, we couldn't do it without you. As a reminder to all of our alums, thank you for joining us. Stay involved. Note the May 31st to June 2nd, 2024 Jubilee reunions. And congratulations to the class of 74. I attended my 50th last year. Those are once in a lifetime events you don't want to miss. And everyone, please, please, please put on your calendars June 6th through 8th, 2025. I'm so glad President Wooten mentioned those sneakers. I hate sneakers. However, I'm on the lookout for some high heel sneakers so that I can join the party too. But once again, mark your calendars. You can email us at alumnet@simmons.edu, or you can call 1-800-831-4284. And so true to form, I would just like to leave you with a little inspiration, because as alums, whether new alums like Sophia or residential senior alums, mature alums like many of us, we're very, very busy. But as we continue to lift, as we climb, please take care of yourselves. So if the mountain seems too big today, then climb a hill instead. If the morning brings you sadness, it's okay to stay in bed. If the day ahead weighs heavy and your plans feel like a curse, there's no shame in rearranging. Don't make yourself feel worse. If a shower stings like needles and a bath feels like you'll drown, and if you haven't washed your hair for days, don't throw away your crown. A day is not a lifetime. A rest is not defeat. Don't think of it as failure, just a quiet, kind retreat. It's okay to take a moment from an anxious, fractured mind. The world will not stop turning while you get realigned. The mountain will still be there when you want to try again. So climb it in your own time and love yourself till then. Thank you so much. Let's get loud. Lift as we climb. After all, we are Simmons University. Thank you for attending today. Thank you so much. Karen, I turn it back over to you.
And we're over and out. See you at the next event. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everyone. Hello.
You're always amazing, Madam President.